up, everyone? My name is Alfonso Lopez, and I'm the owner of Let's Work Official, a coaching company where we help men and women become the best version of themselves through health and fitness. In today's topic, I wanted to go over the importance of setting yourself up for a successful fat loss phase. What I mean by this is whenever someone is, ready to lose fat and to get into better shape, what oftentimes people tend to do is they just slash their calories, do more cardio, work out more. You know how it is, right? Especially if you are someone in that same position where it's like, hey, I'm trying to lose weight and get in better shape. The first thing most people do is they just immediately slash their calories and get into a deficit. And in today's video, I'm going to explain why sometimes that's not the best thing to do, because whenever you do that, you're setting your base and your foundation to be so low that you have no other option but to go lower. And that's just not something that I would personally recommend. So whenever it comes to setting yourself up for a successful fat loss phase, what I always like to tell people is whenever we're wanting to lose weight, right? It's like, yes, we need to be eating less and burning more. That is how we're going to lose weight. But ideally, what we want to do to make this like a long-term effective process is you actually want to get our metabolism moving in the right direction. So that way it actually makes the fat loss easier. What I mean by this is, like I said, a lot of times people go into a diet, they immediately slash their calories, right? If you're a guy, you're eating 1,800 calories, 1,900 calories, 21, 22, wherever you fall. You're a female, you're probably eating 15, 14, maybe less than that, maybe a little more, give or take, right? Ideally though, what we want to do is that we actually want to be eating more food over time. I understand this may be a weird thing for people, but this is just something that I do with the people that we work with at Let's Work, is we actually tend to build up their metabolism, build up their base first. So what exactly I mean by that, I know I've been repeating that, but what I mean by this is like, let's say we start out, eating 2,100 calories. Well, instead of going in the opposite direction or the normal direction of just going down in calories, what we actually do is that we actually go up in calories. So we go from 2,100 calories to 2,250 to 24 to 25 to 26 to 27. And normally during this process, right, what ends up happening is people still end up losing weight and kind of feeling better about themselves and adding on more quality muscle tissue because they're actually eating adequate amount of protein. But what really ends up happening is that they're actually building up their metabolism, eating a decent amount of food. They're building the habits, they're building the routine, they're building the confidence, they're building the self-esteem, where a lot of times, this is a good example, is a lot of times people just go straight into a deficit, they can't stick to it, they fall off, they don't feel good about themselves, that messes up the routine, their self-esteem, their confidence, etc., right? Where this actually allows us to lay a solid foundation, but also build up our metabolism, right? Because let's say as you're building up your metabolism, you get to eventually 2,800 calories, right? Bam, you're eating 2,900 calories, you have lost a little bit of weight, you've added on some muscle tissue, right? The foundation's built, you feel good, you feel confident, right? And then you slowly start to come down in calories again. Well, coming down off of 2,800 or 2,900 calories is a whole lot easier than starting a diet at 2,000 calories and having no other option but to continue to go down. That is why it is such a mindset shift or flip whenever we work with people, is because we're not going to be one of these crash diet people where it's like, hey, we're just going to immediately put you in a deficit. Like, yes, that will help for potentially for a certain time being for certain people, but a majority of the time it's like, let's lay a foundation, let's build up our metabolism, let's get the habits, let's get the routine, let's get the confidence, let's get the self-esteem, and then let's slowly start to work our way down. Because like I said, dieting off of 2,800 calories is a whole lot easier than dieting off of 2,000 calories. Because let's say your foundation is here at 2,000 calories. Well, you have no other option but to continue to go down, which honestly just isn't the funnest thing in my opinion. But if we start out at 2,800 calories, have a higher metabolism, and then slowly work our way down over time, that is going to give us a lot longer of a runway, and we're honestly not going to have to suffer as much whenever it comes to the nutrition, the cardio, the food. It just gives us a lot more wiggle room. And like I said, honestly, just runway. So if you are someone right now that is wanting to lose fat, yes, eating less and burning more is how you're going to lose weight. But personally, I would make sure that you're taking the approach of just actually building the foundation, building the base, building the confidence, building the belief, and more than anything, building the metabolism so that way you can support a healthy fat loss phase. And not only that, it's just going to teach you so much more about your body and just the resiliency that comes with that as well. Because like I said, it is so much easier to diet off at 2,800 calories than it is at 1,800 calories. So hopefully this small tip will be able to help people. And if you really want some actual how do I say this correctly? If you really want some actual practical advice of how to do this, feel free to shoot me a message or drop a comment below with your Instagram handle, and I am more than happy to help you. Actually, what I'll do as well is I'll throw our Discord group in the comment section. Feel free to join that for free. You're free to ask any question. We're here to help in any single way possible. So hopefully today's video, I know it's a smaller one, a shorter one, but you still took away some type of value from it. In the sense of building your metabolism, setting yourself up for a successful fat loss phase, but more than anything, just building a consistent routine and base that you can work off of instead of just repeating the same habits again. So like I said, my name is Alfonso. I'm the owner of Let's Work Official, a coaching company where we help men and women become the best version of themselves, and hopefully you found some value in today's video.